Welcome back to Trivia World Quiz. The Ottomans conquered Constantinople from the Byzantine Empire. Constantinople fell in 1453, marking the end of the Byzantine Empire. The Great Wall of China was built in one continuous project. False, it was constructed in sections over many centuries by different dynasties. Julius Caesar was assassinated on the Ides of March. He was killed on March 15, 44 BCE by members of the Senate. The American Civil War ended in 1865. It concluded with the surrender of the Confederate forces. The Titanic sank on its maiden voyage in 1920. False, the Titanic sank on April 15, 1912. The Wright brothers invented the airplane. They achieved their first successful flight in 1903. Napoleon Bonaparte was exiled to St. Helena twice. False, he was first exiled to Elba, then later to St. Helena. The Berlin Wall fell in 1989. Its fall symbolized the end of the Cold War era. Christopher Columbus discovered America in 1492. False, he reached the Caribbean islands but not mainland America. The Roman Empire fell in 476 CE. The Western Roman Empire officially collapsed that year. The 100 Years' War lasted exactly 100 years. False. It lasted 116 years, from 1337 to 1453. Albert Einstein developed the theory of relativity. He introduced special relativity in 1905, revolutionizing physics. The Great Fire of London occurred in 1666. It devastated much of the city but led to rebuilding efforts. The Korean War officially ended with a peace treaty. False, it ended with an armistice in 1953, not a formal treaty. The Magna Carta was signed in 1215. It is considered a foundational document for democracy. The French Revolution began in 1799. False, it began in 1789 and profoundly changed France. Neil Armstrong was the first human to walk on the moon. He accomplished this historic feat on July 20th, 1969. World War II began in 1939. It started with Germany's invasion of Poland. Adolf Hitler was born in Austria. He was born in Braunau am Inn in 1889. The Cold War was a direct military conflict between the United States and the Soviet Union. False, it was characterized by tension and proxy wars, not direct conflict. The Black Death killed nearly a third of Europe's population. It was one of the most devastating pandemics in history. Cleopatra was of Egyptian origin. False, she was of Macedonian Greek descent. The Declaration of Independence was signed in 1776. It marked the United States' break from British rule. The Battle of Hastings occurred in 1066. William the Conqueror won and became King of England. Alexander the Great died in his 50s. False. He died at the young age of 32 in 323 BCE. The Taj Mahal was built as a tomb. Shah Jahan commissioned it for his wife Mumtaz Mahal. The Cuban Missile Crisis occurred in 1962. It was a tense standoff during the Cold War over Soviet missiles in Cuba. The U.S. Civil Rights Act was passed in 1960. False. It was signed into law in 1964 to end racial segregation. The Vietnam War ended in 1975. The fall of Saigon marked the end of the war. Genghis Khan founded the Ottoman Empire. False. He founded the Mongol Empire. Joan of Arc was burned at the stake in 1431. She was executed during the 100 Years' War. The Renaissance began in Italy in the 14th century. It sparked a cultural revival in art, science, and literature. Mahatma Gandhi was born in 1869. He led India's movement for independence through non-violence. The Soviet Union launched the first satellite, Sputnik, in 1961. False. Sputnik was launched in 1957, marking the start of the space age. The Colosseum in Rome was completed in 80 CE. It was inaugurated during the reign of Emperor Titus. The Mayflower carried pilgrims to Australia. False. It carried them to America in 1620. The first printing press was invented by Johannes Gutenberg. He revolutionized communication in the 15th century. The Boston Tea Party took place in 1773. It was a protest against British taxation without representation. Marie Curie won 2 Nobel Prizes in science. She was recognized for her work in physics and chemistry. The Eiffel Tower was built for the 1889 World's Fair. It faced initial criticism but became an iconic symbol of Paris. The Treaty of Versailles ended World War I. It was signed in 1919 and imposed harsh terms on Germany. Leonardo da Vinci painted the Sistine Chapel ceiling. False. Michelangelo painted it, completing it in 1512. The Great Depression began with the stock market crash of 1929. It triggered a decade of severe global economic hardship. The Spanish Armada defeated England in 1588. False. England defeated the Spanish Armada in that year. Harriet Tubman helped slaves escape through the Underground Railroad. She was a key figure in the abolitionist movement. The Berlin Conference divided Africa among European powers. It formalized colonial claims in 1884 to 1885. Mount Vesuvius destroyed Pompeii in 79 CE. The eruption buried the Roman city under volcanic ash. The Statue of Liberty was a gift from France. It was presented in 1886 to celebrate American independence. Queen Victoria was the longest reigning British monarch. False, Queen Elizabeth II surpassed her reign in 2015. The Roman Colosseum was used for gladiatorial contests. It hosted games, battles, and public entertainment events. Thanks for watching. Comment your answers below and subscribe to Trivia World Quiz.